Jason&Jabari.
What's up, guys? This is Jason from the Jason&Jabari Gaming, and today we finally have completed our Negasonic Teenage Warhead showcase. This video was over 34 minutes long, and I condensed it as best I could, so I took out some footage. I took Negasonic and Labyrinth of Legends, I took her in Battlegrounds, and I took her in War. So just kind of bear with me. We're going to start off with Labyrinth of Legends, move over to War, and finish up with Battlegrounds. And this is going to be my overall thoughts on the champions, things that I would personally hope to see change for her, and just kind of talk about things as we go along. But she is unawakened. Her awakened ability does help give her extra power in the start of the fight, so that doesn't really heavily impact her, in my opinion. She was specifically countered to counter the skill class, more specifically Bullseye. However, in my experience, I think I don't know you guys' experience, but more often than not, if you get knocked down by Bullseye, her precognition goes on cooldown, but it's supposed to automatically re-trigger when you get auto evaded. As you can see here, precognition, evade, counter attack, so therefore it automatically is supposed to re-trigger upon them actually counter-attacking you. It has a 100% chance to do that. It doesn't do that against Bullseye, guys. I've lost Battlegrounds fights because I got knocked down and it went on cooldown, and then I tried to attack into him when he got his little auto evade counter because he went over a bar, and then bam, I'm getting whacked. So I don't know if that's a bug, if that's supposed to work that way, but it's not foolproof. So just bear that in mind. I don't have a Bullseye evade counter showcase here because this was just far too long of a video. Real quick, I'm running energy resistance for her because she has energy resistance at 0. She has physical resistance at 0. She also has crit resistance at 0. So the Gambit relic gives her physical resistance and critical resistance, which is why I'm running that relic. And then I gave her energy resistance to make up for all the 0 resistances that she has. Which is something I would change because, I mean, she's a female Human Torch and she doesn't have any incinerate immunity. To me, that makes 0 sense. Also, she's completely energy damaged with no energy resistance. That doesn't make much sense to me either. But anyway, I chose to go against Agent Venom in Labyrinth of Legends. He has 3.3 million health. And I wanted to showcase this fight for a couple reasons. Number one, obviously, I told you guys she's made to counteract the skill class. She has 0 debuffs, actually, since they're passives. They don't actually act as debuffs in their passives. Now, her heavy attack gives a 50% energy, incinerate vulnerability passive. And that's kind of important in her kit. I don't utilize that to the max. I did not play her as optimally on the Battleground showcase, but we'll get into that later. All right, so with this fight, if any of you guys even remember this fight, you're going to get a incinerate debuff on you, and you have a couple seconds to hit the opponent. You can hit their block, or you can strike them straight up, and then it will transfer. Right, and then it counts down. This is like a countdown game. And then obviously with Agent Venom, he has tenacity, so he has a chance to shrug off debuffs, except for he cannot shrug off anything that we do because we have a 2-second stun duration, even though it's not considered a stun passive, right? And then we also have all of our incinerates as debuffs as far as passives, excuse me. Now that's the first incinerate that we didn't retaliate in time that we got, and that's 23% of her health gone. I did not run energy resistance on this intentionally to show you guys we are being incinerated. That's why I chose this fight. And to me that makes no sense. The girl on fire is catching fire. I like, how does that, I don't compute. It makes no sense. And we just lost 23% of our health. Her health pool is not very massive, right? So I think that needs to be addressed. Hopefully it can be. Maybe we give her, like, she can get the incinerate debuff on her like Mephisto or something like that, right? But it just heals her, because to me that doesn't make very much sense. Like, are we about to have another Dormammu, you know, or another Ghost Rider before he got reworked for years? So just hopefully we can get something like that fixed, because the energy thing, she probably, if she's full of energy, she probably needs a little bit of energy resistance, I would hope. But I do understand, because I did talk to some people, that her kit is very, very high in one area. So giving her anything extra might be an overtune. I personally, I don't see that personally, because I think just giving her zeros in 3 different categories just makes her a noodle against anybody. I don't really think that that's how that should work. But again, I'm not a designer, so this is just my personal opinion on what hopefully could be addressed when her overhaul comes in, right? Another thing is, you got to really stay up with the uptime on her incinerates. As you see, we lost all of ours, and that's largely because the AI doesn't always play ball. We're going to have several instances of that over the course of this video, which this is about a 23-minute video, guys, but I did condense it as much as possible. And that's the problem. The AI nowadays is acting wonky, is acting very, very smart, right? Artificial intelligence acting very intelligent, right? And it's causing your passive incinerates to fall off, because simply I can't push this guy to 3 bars of power. Otherwise, obviously, he'd throw his special 3 and kill me, right? And we have 0 resistance towards that, so we're just gonna take the full thing, and that would probably kill her. And that's the same in Battlegrounds or in War, right? Like, you can't do certain things, and you're waiting for the AI to do its thing, and at the same time, her incinerates are falling off, even during specials. Like, maybe even during a special or 2, that could be like paused or something like that, and I don't believe it is, but correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously I'm human, I'm not perfect. But anyway, so her medium attack pauses her incinerates, that I do know, and or excuse me, her light attacks pauses the incinerate duration while hitting, and the mediums can apply another one, but after 5, then you're gonna have to throw off the special ones to add on more incinerates. And granted, again, you still want it heavy, but either way, we took a couple of ticks, which is why we ticked down so much from the incinerate debuff. We got it on us about 2 or 3 times. I think we got a combo, a small combo, and then her invade saved us, which is one of the pros that I like about her. She has that chance to evade. She can catch up people on defense, because that evade counter. But yeah, I think that's a substantial amount of damage from incinerate that an incinerated individual should not be having. Anyway, we're going to move on to War now, and this is the tactic, the current tactic. Technically I'm in tier 2 or tier 3, something like that, but the nodes don't change from tier 1, so this technically can work in masters level. I'm just not at masters level, right? And this is a shocker. This is a rank 3 shocker. He's a very tricky defender. This is path 5. This is the path that I run the same path, because just how we do things here in Sandman 2. But anyway, shocker passively reduces your stun duration by 50%. Her stun duration is 2 seconds, so that means we have a 1-second window, which is more than enough time to get our end in, right? So again, here I'm going to heavy. I'm going to get that off so we can get that incinerate vulnerability up. Look at all the damage we're taking just from block damage. She does have block pin. And then we're going to go ahead and parry. We can always parry. We'll have a second, which is, in my opinion, more than enough time to get off not only a couple of hits, but we can actually go into a special if we wanted to. So we have 18 incinerate passives on. This is the knockdown node. Very important you stay close to Shocker because you don't want to give him charges, and you want to push him to special too. But very, very clean fight in my opinion. We did mess up a little bit, so that's why we had the invulnerability boost on, but she can work. So I wanted to show you guys that she can work outside of, I guess, per se, just the classic skill matchup. But speaking of the skill matchup, the next fight that we have for this war is rank 3 Mantis, who is a skill defender, and you know, you don't want to ideally have her throw her special 1. This is the knockdown ebb and flow one, so we got to knock her down in order to do damage. And she has, when she does her heavy, she goes like passively unstoppable, so you can't really counter heavies with heavies here. I think I accidentally mess up, yeah, and I allow her to throw her special 1, which is fine. It just means that during the encroaching sleep timer, we need to have a special ready to go to fire it off, which I'm going to fire mine off now, which I think we push her red. Yeah, but I did have that invulnerability boost, so I didn't mind doing that. But yeah, down she goes, which was a really quick fight. 33 seconds, excuse me. So she works on path 5. And then I'm going to show you guys this Sasquatch. Now this is a rank 2. I've taken a rank 3 since then. And this is on the prowess node. And you got to knock down them as well, otherwise you're not going to do as much damage. But her debuffs are passive, so I think it still does the full damage, but I could be wrong on that. So with Sasquatch, I've taken him so many times with different champions that I'm very comfortable with this node. But you don't obviously want him to go red, because then you'll be caught in the loop. But she does very, very well here because, again, everything that she has is passive. So when we knock him down, we can still parry him, just like Onslaught, right? The difference between her and Onslaught is Onslaughts are actual debuffs, but if they shrug, then they turn into passives, where her is, it's automatically a passive, so it never counts as an actual debuff. So that's the difference between her and Onslaught, right? And we're just going to keep whacking away here. I can absolutely do this against a rank 3. And again, you can absolutely do this matchup in Masters if you're a Masters player. Just granted, she's very squishy, and she was designed to be that way. I don't really have a problem with her being squishy. I've already addressed my my concerns with her earlier, so I don't want to be like saying the same exact thing. But there's another example of you have to be aggressive with her, otherwise your incinerate debuffs are going to fall off. The uptime on them is not very long. Theoretically, it may sound long, but you see realistically it's not really long. And again, it heavily depends on the AI. So down he goes. That was a rank 2. Again, I've done it to a rank 3 Sasquatch with Negasonic. So if you guys didn't know you could take that fight with her, you absolutely can. She's fantastic there, and that's a non-skill matchup, by the way. On an ideal node that Sasquatch goes on a lot, quite frequently, including in Masters, guys. So next up we have this Nick Fury on the ebb and flow knockdown again. I just threw this in there as another fight. I don't really remember most of these fights, guys. I've accumulated this over about the course of maybe, I want to say 3 weeks. So yeah, I've been really trying to put together some content and show you guys some things. But yeah, so there's the heavy. You can't obviously heavy punish that, otherwise you get hurt. The good thing about her is when she's facing skilled champions, she can't be bled. That's not an actual immunity, that's just when she goes against skilled champions, because she's not bleed immune. So and she has no immunities at all whatsoever, none, which is unfortunate. it's just kind of unfortunate in my opinion. But anyway, so yeah, he's going down. We intercept with a special 2, which was actually pretty cool. And now we're in that position where we can't be hit, but we get to intercept and down he goes. So pretty clean fight in my opinion. We have one more showcase that I wanted to show you guys, and it's probably not what you think. I can very well assume that, because it's not going to be a bullseye or anything like that on the ebb and flow, which is actually my next fight. It's going to be Nightcrawler. This is a rank 2 Nightcrawler. She can do this to a rank 3 Nightcrawler, and I don't think we intercept a single time. I wanted to try out this fight because I thought with her evade mechanic that it counted as an intercept, kind of like, you know, with some of the other champions where they auto evade and stuff and it counts as an intercept. Well, hers does not, which I'm going to showcase here in just a second. And the stun duration is so long on Nightcrawler that we can get our ends relatively safely. So I'm going to bait out this special 2 here. Everything is sped up, by the way, guys. Everything is sped up for time's sake. So these fights, everything. Here it is. So here we go. I hit into him, and then I hold my heavy for him to come in. He comes in, I auto evade, but it doesn't count as an intercept. So I don't know if that's as intended or not, but either way, I already knew with the damage I was dealing passively, I already knew it wasn't going to be an issue, because he's going down relatively quickly, as you can see. There I try to hit him, he evades. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, what we're doing is working. So you could absolutely drop this fight without ever having to actually perform the intercept. We lost the uptime on our incinerates, and because we were getting whacked in the process, we lost all of them. So they're another example of you really have to be aggressive, and you have to pretty much play flawlessly, otherwise you're going to lose all of your buildup, which I don't personally like. So that's just something that hopefully they can address, maybe. But anyway, I did it twice. I did the auto evade twice for you guys, and once again, same result. He still has that protection up because we technically have not intercepted him. So kind of interesting, but after we throw off this SP1, he's going to tick himself down, and down he goes with plenty of time. So she can actually work, like I said, for path 5. Now we're going to move over into Battlegrounds. Huge shout out to Forgotten for giving me the time to do these matches. The first match is we're going to go up against a rank 2 Mordo. I think he's the only rank 2 that I'm going to showcase. And what I wanted to showcase about her again is that passive stun. He can't astro evade that because it's passive, kind of like a wags on him. He can't evade that. So fun fact, if you guys have her and you don't have really an option for a meta where Mordo is placed on defense, there you go. I don't think this was a bad fight or anything like that. It was all right. I throw off my special 2 here, but again, in Battlegrounds, she can catch more people up that I've known, or that I've played against, I guess. On defense, offensively, she's fine, but again, you really have to be very aggressive. So that worked out. 49k score. He did run stand your ground, and she resisted twice. So I thought that was pretty funny. Next up, we have a rank 3 Chilif. I think that's Sig 40 Chilif. So everything that Chilif does, she can cleanse and all that stuff, but she cannot stop our passives. So you'll see that we could have played this a little bit faster, but again, we cannot be bled. And this is all victory track node, by the way. I messed up there, so that did take up a little bit of time. But when Chilif hits you on the block, she has a chance to inflict the bleed and stuff like that. But again, we cannot be bled by skill champions, so that's really cool. I can push Chilif to her special 2 with no worries. I know how to fully dex her special 2 with no issues. So that didn't really gimp us too much on time, but that falter was a mistake. Hopefully you guys don't make that mistake in a victory track if you're still there. I do think the armor ups really gimp her damage as far as physical damage. I don't know if it does anything to her actual passive damage, but there we go. 49k score once again, which was pretty decent. Forgotten also has Misty Knight. It reminds me of the time I was in the Fall Brawl tournament against him. But he has taken his Misty to rank 3. So we're going to test out our Negasonic against her. She can passively evade. She can cause Cold Snap and I think bleed as well. I'm not entirely certain, but she can be a nuisance. There you saw that we used our passive evade, which is what you want to do when you're able to. She's unblockable now. She does do that. So I don't push her past a special 1 most of the time. But here I think we only throw off special 1s. I don't think we throw off a special 2 at all. I go into the relic, into a heavy, into my special. I do that a lot with her, and that's just to increase the incinerate damage that I'm going to be inflicting. You definitely want to utilize that when you can, and that's kind of an advanced pro tip. You definitely want to heavy cancel into the relic, into your special, or excuse me, you want to relic heavy into your special. All right, so that was another 49k score, I believe, and now we're going against Odin. And here's a problem, guys. This is the last fight that I'm going to showcase because this video is over 20 minutes long. So here's the problem with her, and this is my experience with the vast majority of when I was trying to record some fights. The AI is not going to play ball immediately, and that's what you need with her, right? So here I'm faltered, that's on me. But here I'm going to charge my heavy. Look at that. He backs off. He backs off. He backed off so many times that I released my heavy on my own. I didn't even know she could do that. But that's been my experience with a lot of the fights. And again, this is sped up, guys. That was like 15 seconds. Maybe a little bit less than that. Maybe like 10. I don't know. But either way, that's a problem with the AI. We can't do that. If we're dependent upon that and that's our kit, then that's what we need, right? So there was just another example, and then you see our incinerates falling off during his specials. So that answers that question about hopefully they can be paused during the opponent's special and your own, right? Because if that's her core mechanic and she gets no benefit from anything else, i.e. zeros across the board when it comes to the important things, then hopefully we can address that. But that's my little rant. You guys let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. That greatly helps us out. Peace.